Well, this recently happened when it comes to Algorand. What am I talking about? Nothing I say is financial advice. However, quite recently, Algorand did mention how they're back officially in the US. They moved from Singapore and now they're going back to the US and they're moving to Delaware. Now, some people may be telling me, okay, why does it matter? Algo, its native token, is around 45 times more than $5. I'll get into that later. But I first want to talk about this and why I think there could be some hypothetical advantages from this move. I think, first of all, it could be market access, right? Just because if we take a look at a lot of the projects out there that might want to partner up with something like Algorand, or let's say some enterprises out there, maybe they might see that, you know what, they want to be in closer proximity with some of that or some potential, partnerships or something like that. Who knows? Also, on top of that as well, I think proximity does matter. It's like, for instance, sure, I can be, you know, talking to my friend who's living in a different place, right? But if we're in the same proximity, it's just a little bit different. Faster collaborations, faster sharing of ideas, just more collaboration overall. Because what I realized is that sometimes meeting like from, I guess, digitally, right? Just having a video call, it feels a little bit different than having a conversation in real life, actually meeting face to face like that. This is why I think sometimes moves like this, I think, is pretty cool, especially if the objective is to just kind of have more of this presence in North America. Also, what I find pretty cool is that when it comes to this move, I think just meetings becomes a little bit more fluid, right? Because again, the energy from calling someone and the energy from having it face to face, it just feels a little bit different. It's like, for instance, okay, I listen to music at home. I listen to music, just in my car or something like that. It's a little bit different if I go to a concert. You know what I mean? The energy feels a little bit different. Maybe sometimes I've noticed that the music quality and the clarity feels a little bit better if I'm just listening to the recording, but going to the concert is more about the energy. It's more about the feeling, right? So when I take a look at this right here, I think it could hypothetically foster new partnerships, but we'll wait and see because, again, they just recently announced this. However, I think this, if anything, showcases that Algorand does care about where they want to be heading moving forward. And also on top of that, I think it showcases that, they're caring about partnerships because some of the projects out there, they're just in one location. They just don't really care anymore. But I think that when it comes to something like this, I do find it pretty cool. Because a move like this, it just doesn't happen out on a whim like that. It just doesn't happen instantly. It's not just, oh, we feel like moving to Delaware. Not that type of vibe. Even if I had to move somewhere, it'd have to be kind of planned out, right? Imagine like something as massive as Algorand and have to be a little bit different, There would have to be a lot of consideration, a lot of planning, a lot of discussions. So this is why when I take a look at something like this, I do find it pretty cool. Now, when it comes to Algo, it's just a situation where, okay, there's been a slight recovery when it comes to altcoins, generally speaking, but it's not really that much in the grand scheme of things. But really, I don't think it's even an altcoin season. So how can I fully evaluate something if I haven't seen that? It's like, if I want to watch a movie, how can I fully know what it is or what it's about if I don't finish watching the whole movie? Granted, if I do want to watch the movie. Like, if I want to make a review on a movie, I have to watch it throughout its entirety. I can't just watch 10 minutes. This is just my perspective. And actually, at $5, the market cap at that point, considering current circulating supply, would be around 44 billion. We're talking about BNB nearly, right? Being over 3 times larger than that, again, nearly, back in 2021. And we're in 2026 right now. And when people like to tell me, what, Algorand, there's more competitors right now, I kind of agree but disagree to a certain extent. Let me explain why. Yes, there is more competitors overall. There's more memes and stuff like that, but we have to consider when it comes to layer 1 blockchains, back in 2021, Solana was popular, Ethereum, Avalanche, Algorand to a certain extent. We take a look at other projects too. Like, for instance, in the case of BNB, VeChain and all this type of stuff. Okay, they're popular back then, right? But what's popular right now? Pretty much kind of that as well. Also Cardano, It'd be different if there was like 50 more of those types of layer 1 blockchains that appeared right now. That'd be different, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So yes, there's slightly more competitors when it comes to projects that kind of have the fundamentals and vibe of like an Algorand, but it's not drastically too much in my perspective. But if I take a look at it beyond this space, yes, there is just a lot more projects overall, but a lot of them are memes, you know? I don't think it's really a direct competitor when it comes to Algorand just overall, in a lot of cases that I do see. It's like, for instance, if I randomly became a tennis player, sure, I could say, oh yeah, I play tennis, but can I compete? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense in my perspective. I've never been good at tennis. I'll never be good at it. And also on top of that, I can't really compete, you know? It's like if I want to be a golfer, sure, I can say, hey, I'm golfing on the weekends, but am I going to be able to play on the tour? Absolutely not. If I just bought a sewing machine, I bought a t-shirt, oh wait, let me just rephrase that. If I bought some cloth, you know, some fabric or something like that, and I try to like stitch up a t-shirt, the dimensions are going to be way off. I can't do that. I don't have any skills when it comes to that area. I can say I made a t-shirt, but it can't really be considered good quality. You know what I mean? So if a project appears, okay, sure, does it have the quality though? Making the project sometimes, right? Creating a project in some cases isn't the hard part. Sometimes the hard part is actually making it good. Like, for instance, me becoming a tennis player, I could just become a tennis player today. I'll just play it. But I cannot say that I'm good, you know? I can't become a professional. So there's a difference right there. So yeah, when it comes to something like Algorand, my perspective is that just overall, that's the way I take a look at it. So yes, there's more competitors right now, but I really think about it sometimes. Is it really a direct competitor when it comes to Algorand? In a lot of cases, I don't think so. And the thing is, now there's actually over 600 million owners. So pretty much double when compared to the peak of the 2021 cycle. And the amount of projects kind of stayed the same, more or less, in terms of the ones that can actually compete. So personally for me, is a market cap of around 44 billion something that would necessarily surprise me? If the answer was no, it wouldn't surprise me, I guess. Because, you know, I just saw what BNB reached years ago, and I don't think there's even that much more competition right now. So if the competition kind of more or less stayed the same, but the amount of owners pretty much doubled, isn't the hypothetical attention pretty much still concentrated towards those group of projects back then, but now with just way more owners, you know? This is sometimes my perception. But yeah, besides that point, when it comes to something like Algorand, I'm just, I guess, waiting. That's all I can really do at this point, but I just wanted to make this video to talk about Algorand's recent move and what I think about it and how I think it could hypothetically maybe foster new partnerships moving forward. So yeah, that's just kind of my perception, and that's pretty much it.